New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
May I have your attention, please? This is a special service announcement by the TFTG. Late Night Exhale is back Saturdays, 10 p.m. Be there.
I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving it to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work. Check priorities, I'm doing that first. Check's big and I'm sure that hurts, but it's checkmate, we ain't selling short, know the work. Ain't nowhere to hide, you ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind, cause I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah, man we coming for them bags, if they said I couldn't have, get the team. I got a vision for the things you ain't believe. Here's the motto, hard work is over everything. It's that comeback. I'm calling plays, hit the pass, then the run back. I'm far ahead and got a run.
Good morning, Fin fans. I am your host, Ali the Persian, and today is Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, September 1st is upon us. We are here, and it's Friday, and it is going to be a heck of a day. I have a great show lined up for us, and yeah, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe because this is going to be a good one. While you're waiting for the show to start, or while you're hanging out with us, check out some of our other content we got out there. We got the El Capitan TFTG show, and this week he has a lot planned. There are some interviews coming. I cannot wait. There's a lot headed this way. It's going to blow your mind on who he's going to be interviewing. It is going to be freaking amazing, let me tell you. In addition to that, we have Coffee and a Cup of Color. You can check out his shows, as well as check out my shows, which is Top of the Tailgate. I got the broken takes. They're always broken. And then in addition, we got Late Night Exhale. Saturdays, be there, 10 o'clock. Usually, sometimes we start a little bit early, but 10 is the normal time, right? And then we got the Shake Money with the drive time shows. We got the smoke lounges. You got his Saturday wrestling shows. I love it. Check out Shake Money's show. He's all over the place. And then you got Lewis, the Rabid Dolphin, all over the freaking place, right? You got him on the Twitter Spaces. You got on this show. You got him on, Miami Sports Music. He's everywhere. He's a madman. Check out Lewis up in this bunch as well. And then you got KP with the Fantasy Talk. I believe he may have a show going Saturday. I can't wait to see that. More of that. He also has another show that's in the works that I cannot wait to see. It's going to be freaking amazing. And then you got Crypto's show. You got that usually on Mondays and Thursdays, from what I understand. I cannot wait to see another more of that. It was a really good kickoff to his shows, and I really enjoyed myself. And then on Tuesdays, the OG is back. Tonk, TMI Tuesdays is back. Check out Tonk and his TMI Tuesdays. Last show was really hilarious. It was a banger. So definitely check that out. But meanwhile, make sure you hit like and subscribe. That's the only way you're going to get notified. Actually, you got to turn on the notification bell first, but that's the only way you're really going to be able to get access to all these shows and everything. So definitely do that for me. In addition, if you really like the content, would like to support the channel, you don't have to, but we really appreciate it around these parts. We do accept Cash App, Venmo, Super Chats, Super Stickers, Another way you can donate to the channel is super inexpensive, and it also gives you exclusive access to certain content. And in addition to that, it also you get notified a lot faster. And to top it all off, you get these cool exclusive emojis that you can use to banter with people in the chat. Become a member. We have 3 different levels. We have Amigos, Familia, and MVP. I want to say the lowest membership fee is $2.99 or $2, something like that. It's really inexpensive way to help out the channel. So we really appreciate all of our members. We wouldn't be here without you, as well as all of our subscribers. We definitely would not be here without all of you, and we really appreciate it. On top of that, while you're hanging out with us, check out the description below, right? And shout out to all of our affiliates that we have all up in these parts. We got Fanatics. You're officially licensed to everything. You can get your t-shirts, your hats, your jerseys, your signed memorabilia. They have all the different fanfare for pretty much every sport, every team. They have one of the best discount or clearance sections ever. Some really great stuff you can get on low prices. They always got deals or some promotion going on all the time. And pretty soon, if you're one of those people that collect the NFL trading cards like I do, they have the exclusive contract now. So they'll be the guys that you can get those cards from. So check out Fanatics. Use the link below. The link below is just like the regular link. However, it tells them that we sent you, and it gives a little bit of credit to the channel. So we really appreciate it if you use our link for it. What else? We also, I'm kind of want to feng shui my house a little bit, and I'll go to Backroom Collections, get myself a nice canvas artwork for Miami Dolphins or my favorite Dolphin player, or maybe some other sport, They have all different kinds of customizable canvas artwork that's framed, or, you can do different things with it. Check out Backroom Collections. Some really cool stuff there. In addition to it, I'm going to need a lot of energy to be able to watch all these shows, right? Being up super late, then being up super early in the morning to do, to do the next show. I'm going to check out Doobie Energy Drink. Doobie Energy Drink, it's all smash, no crash, as Color likes to say. It's infused with a lot more all-natural caffeine and different supplements that is more beneficial to the body. Focusing. That's more meant for better focusing and concentration. In addition to that, it has a lot less byproduct and that stuff that's harmful to the body than some of these other energy drinks. And you don't get that jittering or shaking or crashing at the end where you fall asleep instantly that you do with some of the other ones. If you don't take my word for it, check out Shake Money's show. He has a lot of reviews that he does. He's been reviewing all of the flavors from the starter pack. And he does a complete video where he reveals everything that comes with it. Definitely check out Doobie Energy Drink. I've heard from a lot of people in our community that actually state that this stuff is pretty good. So I think I'm going to order some myself. But check out the link below. And if you'd like to save 10% off there or the Backroom Collection, definitely use code TFTG at checkout to save 10% off of your order. So shout out to all of our affiliates. We really appreciate them. Thank you very much. In addition, check out tftgnetwork.com. It's your one-stop shop for TFTG everything. You can get exclusive TFTG content there. It has links to our specific feeds on Twitter and our YouTube lineups. You can watch all of our YouTube past shows from there. Also, I'm going to be doing articles during the season. Starting week 1, I'm going to start having an active article that'll be updating on the weekly. So definitely check out for that. Also, you're going to want to sign up for our newsletter there. It gives you up-to-date news of what's going on in the TFTG, up-to-date content that's going to be coming out. You also save 10% off of our merch store. Now, let me tell you about our merch store. It's not like anything other you've seen. Go check it out. There's something for everybody there. I want to say it's TFTG fanatic style, to be honest, because there's something for everybody. And I will say that everything that you see there is inspired by you, people in the chat, people that come up on the panels, the members, the subscribers, everybody. We really appreciate it. So let's see who's all up in this part. My co-host is running a little bit late, but that's okay. I was late yesterday. Makes sense. We got Brian's Brains up in here. What's up, Brian's Brains? We got Heather Long up in here as always. Morning, boys. FYI, my favorite would rather be Konami coffee, at 8 o'clock dark Italian espresso, or 8 o'clock's dark Italian espresso. Interesting. I've actually done a review on 8 o'clock's dark Italian coffee. That's pretty cool. Oh, so yesterday I said that Heather Long seems like a Frappuccino girl, right? She says, "You did call it though. I do an occasion like my caramel ribbon crunch Frappuccino with an affogato shot and extra crunch topping from Starbucks." Ha 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 ha. I was so right. That's so funny. Shake Money's up in here. Adam Sadowski, what's going on? Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Make sure you hit the like button, spread the word, tell everybody, tell everybody what's going on. I'm going to do things a little bit different order since I'm waiting on Color. I kind of like doing my coffee review with him here, but especially with this special coffee that I'm drinking. Let me tell you. Interesting taste. Yeah, it's interesting. That's what I'll say. I'll say more when Color comes up here. Let's see. Let's move on to the next thing here. So first, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Appreciate that. Road to 1,000 followers. I am less than 100 followers away from 1,000. Please get me to 1,000. I'm just trying to get there so we can start spreading the word a lot more. Get Top of the Tailgate and other content here at TFTG, shared on Twitter, and I'm trying to expand it much further than even the Miami Dolphins. Not the Miami Dolphins, but yeah, much further than the Miami Dolphins community. So appreciate all my people that have followed me. But we have over 5,000 subscribers. Come on, come over here and at least follow me on Twitter. Follow everybody at the TFTG. Myself, Color Commentary, Lewis, Shake Money, KP, even Crypto on Twitter, and even El Capitan, even though he doesn't deserve it. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely follow El Capitan as well. We really appreciate everybody following us, so definitely appreciate that. Cause for cleats. Yes, let's talk about cause for cleats. And today's cause for cleats is turkeysfortomorrow.org. So, Turkeys for Tomorrow. And let me just bring this here. Here we go. We promote America's hunting traditions, conservation, and education through timeless collaboration of hunters and wildlife professionals to ensure we all have turkeys for tomorrow. In June of 2020, 12 men and 2 women met at White Oak Plantation in Alabama to discuss what they perceived as alarming trend and the decline of wild turkey populations in the areas that hunted across the United States. So at the end of that meeting, it was apparent that there were more questions about this problem than answers. Over the next several months, the group dug deeper into the issue and decided turkey hunters were key to answering these questions. In February of 2021, the group received its nonprofit 501c3 status, and Turkeys for Tomorrow was born. Each of the original 14 members contributed $300 for the initial funding of the organization. Lofty goals of 5 research projects in 5 states in 5 years and 80% of income dedicated to wild turkey research was adopted or were adopted. I'm sorry. Today, TFT. Oh, that's an interesting name. We're TFTG and this is TFT. Interesting. Is 18 months old. We are currently actually this is a little bit older because it's more than 18 months now. We're currently funding 6 research projects in 3 states with pending project announcements in 2 more states. The current average of income dedicated to reversing the decline of wild turkey is over 80% of the funds generated. The mission of Turkeys for Tomorrow has not and will not change. We are dedicated for reversing the declining wild turkey populations across the United States. Nothing more, nothing less. Research in the foundation of which we hope to build our success. Currently, we are working with Auburn University, the University of Georgia, Tennessee Tech, Mississippi State University. We're working with the state's agencies of Alabama, Mississippi, and Kentucky. Most importantly, we are working with hunters. Hunters are the real heroes in one of the greatest conservation success stories ever told, the comeback of the wild turkey. Through the purchase of hunting license and Dodge determination of state agencies, the wildlife professionals and wild turkeys were brought back from the brink of extinction. We are nowhere near the disaster today, but the trend is alarming, and Turkeys for Tomorrow is ringing the bell. We need your help. Join Turkeys of Tomorrow at a level meaningful to you. Follow us social media. Wow, I don't like how this is written. Follow us social media and tell your friends about us. It will take all of us to turn this around. Join Turkeys for Tomorrow. Help us and help wild turkeys. Yeah, and if you want more information about Turkeys for Tomorrow, go to turkeysfortomorrow.org. You can show how you can donate, join today, help you know, with their research, different events that they have. Also, they have different chapters and how to apply. More about them, what they actually do, and how they can help. There's a lot about them that you can find out at turkeysfortomorrow.org. Yeah, so if you go to their website, it goes into more detail about what they do and how they're different from the National Wildlife Foundation. So definitely check them out. So shout out to Cause for Cleats. And again, we're not affiliated with any of these cause. I mean, we don't really have turkeys here in Florida, as far as I know. I might be wrong about that, so don't quote me on it. But I will tell you that we just try to shout out every different cause for cleats. This was somebody from, I believe, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I found this. So definitely check out all of our cause for cleats that we put out. We're just putting out the word to share them. Somebody might be interested in it. If you have a cause for cleat or a cause that you would like us to shout out to, please put it in the comments below. We're starting to get to some of those. So definitely put it in there below, and we'll definitely give it a shout out on one of our shows. So, or maybe even Tonquil on TMI Tuesdays, because he does cause for cleats as well. So let's keep it moving. That is cause for cleats. Let's see who else I got up in here. Looks like we're starting to fill in more people. Great. Come on in. It's going to be a good show. I got some good content we're going to go over. Adam Sadowski's up in here. What's up, Delusional Patriots fan? Welcome. I doubt it. Seems like there would be too many snakes for turkeys and iguanas. We definitely have iguanas for tomorrow here in Florida. That's funny. What is up? How's everybody doing? All right, let's go on to the next thing. I guess Color is either running late. Let me see if he messaged me. All right. Let me bring this here. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to our next segment. I'm going to skip Coffee of the Week until Color comes. I really wanted him to be here for that. If he doesn't come, I'll reveal it to you guys. But the next segment is What in the World, right? So, what in the world? Our first topic of What in the World, and this is an update to a previous What in the World. We talked about Matthew Stafford. His wife revealed that Matthew Stafford is having a hard time connecting with the youth on his team. And Color and I discussed it. And she says that when he comes out of the shower, they're all on their phones. Well, a lot of people are today in today's world. That's how they put out social media posts. When they tweet different things on after practice. Some of these kids, I'll call them kids because that's what they are thousands of miles away from their families, and maybe they want to be on their phone and talk to their families while they're away and give them updates about training camp or what's going on in the locker room. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different factors that could come into place with this. But this is what she had to say in updates to her original comments. I put my foot in my mouth with comments on Matthew and the Rams teammates. Last week, Kelly Stafford said on an episode of her podcast that her husband, Matthew Stafford, was having a hard time relating to his younger Los Angeles Ram teammates. On Thursday, she said during an interview with local force, I guess it's local Channel 4, Christy McDonald from Detroit, that she's regretted those remarks, calling it probably the worst thing I've done. And when it comes to Matthew Stafford. She continued, I spoke on a topic that I think it's relatable to the fact that it's hard to relate to someone who's 10 years younger than you. And I do think that's entirely true, but I'm not in an NFL locker room. I'm not spending every day with these teammates. That was tough. I say all the time, probably not the best if your wife's name is in the media. If it's talking about sports, if it's in the media, if it's talking about sports, I feel pretty bad last week. I put my foot in my mouth pretty good last week. Here's where a portion of Kelly Stafford's original comments. This is what she originally said. It's kind of crazy. So Matthew's been in the league for a long time. He's like, the difference in the locker room has changed so significantly, and they have a lot of rookies on their team. This year, they're very young. But he's like, I feel like I can't connect because in the old days, you'd come out of practice, you'd shower, people would be playing cards, people would be interacting. Who knows what they're doing, but they're doing something together. They're playing ping pong. They've had tournaments going on. They're at least talking. He said now they get done with practice, get done with meetings during training camp, and they go straight to their phones like no one looks up from their phones. They say sir to him and shit. He's like, no, we're on the same level here. We both playing in this league. Let me get to know you. But he said it's so different and it's so hard to get to know these guys. He had a book printed out of all the guys facing and their names. he's like, I need to know their names. Rams head coach Sean McVay added that he was not concerned and didn't take the comments too seriously. I think if you know Kelly, I took that as more of a joke at the old man. He told reporters, and I'll be honest, there's a couple throws that he made during training camp where I wanted to say yes, sir, to him as well. He's done a great job for being able to. I mean, if you watch and if you come out to camp, this guy's done a phenomenal job of leading, connecting with his teammates. One of the realities of the NFL locker room is that in the mix of various backgrounds, ages, experience, etc., a 35-year-old Stafford is going to have a different set of experiences and culture references than his younger teammates in their early 20s. But it also a quarterback's job to lead, set the culture, and find a way to relate with those teammates, which isn't to say that Stafford isn't attempting to do so, but wife's comments made it sound like less of a joke at the expense and more of an honest assessment of his struggles to relate with this group of Rams, which all be a moot point, of course, if the Rams go out and play well again after their last year's 5-12 debacle. If those struggles continue, however, Kelly Stafford's comments may find themselves being revisited throughout the season. Damn. All right. So she's admitted she put her foot in the mouth, right? She's right. She doesn't know anything about a locker room in the NFL, in today's locker room especially. But at the same time, I definitely understand Sean McVay's point. He's 35 years of age. He's very well experienced. It's to be expected to be tougher, especially when you have younger and younger kids coming in to play in the NFL each year, right? That also being said, I do agree. It is the quarterback's job to find a way to relate with players, no matter what age you are, what generation you're from, or whatever, and lead the team. And getting to know them is the first step. Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but it's something that can get done. So definitely, I agree with those comments. It will be interesting to see if the Rams, can have a better season. They're already having a lot of difficulty right off the get-go. I'm hearing that Cooper Kupp had a setback in his rehab to get back to healthy, so that's not good for them, right? There's was even question marks at running back for them, especially with Cam Akers getting kicked out of camp throughout training camp and whatnot. So it's going to be really interesting. Are they going to come out and be the Rams of the old and put up the numbers and wins and stuff? Or are we going to be revisiting, like they said, are we going to be looking at these comments and be like, she wasn't kidding. He has a problem. So we'll see. We'll see. What do you guys think? Put it in the chat. Definitely put it in the chat. Let me see who else is up in here. We got more people. C. Hoffle's up in here. Northwest Ohio guy. Appreciate you. No Bolarian. I think I said that correctly. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Yep. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. We even got Facebook likers. Hey, people on Facebook, come on over here. Come over here to the YouTube channel. Join the chat. Join the conversation. We appreciate you. So thank you. Thank you very much. Doesn't tell me who you are, so I can't shout out your names. So I apologize. And now we have. Let me give this guy some special intro music. This guy, I appreciate him coming up here. So let's give him something good. You know what? I'm going to give him this one only because this guy goes hard all the time.
Yeah. Let's go. We just got to go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard.
What is up, Shake Money?
Top of the morning there, laddie. Top of the tailgate.
Top of the tailgate. That's right. I like it. Look, this guy even has his Doobie energy drink front and center. Right? He's mixing it up right now, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Actually, this is mushroom coffee, but same thing.
Mushroom coffee. Okay. Okay, we can do coffee. You know what? I'll do it with you. I was gonna wait for Color, but he's not here, so we will definitely do this together. And this is sad because the coffee I'm drinking is something is right up his alley.
Of course, I got to drink it out of my Shake Money cup. But I have my Dewey for tomorrow. Definitely.
Dewey for tomorrow. Nice. So I'm drinking. This big reveal here. This is some herbal infused coffee. If you get my drift.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, some special coffee. And I will tell you, I'm not going to shout out the names yet because I don't know anything about this company. So I'm going to do some research, and on another episode, I'll give you more details about it. But I'm just going to review the flavor and what I thought of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, compared to some of the other coffees I've had, this had the best aroma when it was brewed. It was stronger. You could smell it right off the get-go. I didn't have to get really close to the cup of the coffee or whatever. The taste, it has more of that nuttier taste, if you want to call it that. And it's a little bit more oily too, compared to some of the other coffees I had. So it has an interesting flavor. It's not horrible, but it's not like, oh, I gotta drink this all the freaking time type of flavor, right?
But here's the most important: does it get the job done?
I guess I'll find out by the end of this episode, right?
Yeah, because the mushroom coffee, I don't get that. Like I want to jump through a wall, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm alert. I'm a little more focused. It's not. I don't. You know what I mean? It's like I'm up. I'm alert. But I'm not like. I'm con Julio. I want TV for my bungle. No, not that at all. It's you're awake.
Just kidding. Sorry, I had to do a Beavis and Butthead reference. They recently brought that show back. I heard it was on Paramount or something like that. I'll have to check that out sometime. But yeah, man, I definitely understand this. I don't know yet. This is my first time trying it, so I have no idea. I will say I'm more awake than I was when I started the show, so maybe it's doing something for me.
Yeah.
Man. I'm a little bit more calm, collected, so it's doing that for me. Yeah. So, like, talk more about your mushroom coffee. Like, we already know it's infused with different types of mushrooms and stuff that it's supposed to benefit the body and everything. How does it make you feel afterwards? Like, well, how did you feel afterwards drinking it?
I feel good. I mean, I ordered two more bags. Put it that way. And not to mention, man. And I know this ain't TMI Tuesday, but my bowels movements have been better too. So
that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Well, obviously, coffee is a diuretic in its own. Just so you're aware. But yeah, I will say that I think I'm becoming more accustomed to coffee because now I don't have the same issues as you would as normally if you're first starting to drink coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like I'm running to the bathroom or whatever afterwards. Now it's more, like my regular schedule. Like I can just keep drinking this and I'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but my thing is I only have 1 cup a day. I don't have like 10 cups in a day or 5 cups. Just 1 cup.
Yeah, I primarily stick to 2 cups. The very most would be 3 cups a day. It's spread out over the day. You know what I mean? But it just depends.
Coffee cups, I have two coffee cups. One big latte. Yeah. So yeah.
Big latte. Okay.
I
guess you and our new fan Heather should go out sometime and have a bit nice. Let me tell you what she's drinking. She's drinking. Check this out, dude.
That's my favorite one.
She's drinking. Where is it? Here.
Caramel Ribbon Crunch. That's what my favorite one is too.
Is it really?
Hell yeah, it is. Yeah. As a matter of fact, my first time on here, I told you guys that.
That's right, you did. That's definitely. I was just kidding. I forgot about that, but I was really just kidding when I was making fun of it. To be honest, but that's funny. That's fine. I like frappuccinos too, but it's not my go-to thing anymore. To be honest.
Yeah, the only thing I hate about the Caramel Ribbon Crunch is it's almost $6 for a freaking medium.
Dude, coffee prices gone through the roof going to places like that. It's cheaper for you just brew it at home, to be honest,
Mhm.
or making some type of iced coffee yourself of some kind.
But it's delicious though, man.
Mm.
The caramel ribbon crunch with they had little pieces of caramel in it. You could actually, so that's
Yeah,
why they call it the crunch, because you can
yeah.
actually it's kind of like toffee almost, but it's delicious.
What is up, Concrete? I see you up in here. Good morning, and good morning to Dolphins Thirsty. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you guys.
And once again, Dolphin Thirsty, I appreciate you for coming on this Wednesday and joining the panel of crazy misfits. Hey, this Wednesday, Allie is gonna be on here.
Allie, who?
Dolph Freaky.
Oh, Freaky. Okay, cool.
We're gonna
Cool.
be promoting the new watch party in Southwest Florida. So
Where's it going to be at the next?
it's
the
gonna
new-
be at the Keys Bar and Grill in Fort Myers. So if you're in the Fort Myers area,
Okay, that's on the other side of the state for me, unfortunately. Yeah,
but it's only a watch parties, so it's not. She doesn't do, obviously she's at the game for home games. So. And
Definitely.
Tuesday, I have a special guest. I said it before, but I'm just gonna keep it on the wraps now. You know who it is, Ali. But this Tuesday, 7:00. I don't know if I should go live or I'm gonna do a pre-recorded. I'm still working on that details yet, but it's gonna be a good show.
Let me know. Let me tell you guys something. Right? When I tell you that El Capitan, Shake Money, and even myself are working on some interviews that are going to blow your mind, I wasn't kidding. In fact, there's some interviews that I'm currently reaching out trying to confirm that we can get completed here on top of the tailgate, but they will probably be pre-recorded as we go at 6 a.m. You know what I mean? Can't expect the person to do that. So I'll probably do pre-recorded episodes of that. So be very interesting. But definitely turn on the notification bell for all of TFTG because you're really going to want to see what they put out next. So that being said, I'm glad you're here, Shake Money, because we're on What in the World is our current segment, and I have some more What in the Worlds that we need to talk about, and it's right up your alley, right? So let's go on to the next one here. This one, all right. Now this next one, and this is in light of last night's game where the University of Florida started their college football season against the Utah Utes. And the Utah Utes, as they did, rode the horse to victory, winning 24-11. With the very first play on offense by the Utes came with a 70-yard touchdown pass to their receiver all the way to the house, right? Crushing the hearts of all of the Florida Gator fans across the state. So, yeah, crazy game. And as we watched that game last night, if you didn't watch the show last night, being called by Shake Money, it was great conversation. You had Pamela, myself, and various different people that came on the panel. A lot of banter, talking. You guys decided to go after my Ohio State Buckeyes. That's okay. I'll bring it back. In addition to that, definitely check out the show. It's really good stuff, right? But one thing I pointed out, and I did some more research, I pointed out that there's a lot of Samoan players that played for the Utah Utes over the years. And we're going to talk about that. Before we do, though, just if you're asking yourself, well, what is a Ute, right? And let me turn this down a little bit here. I'm sorry about this. Here we go. All right. If you're asking yourself what a Utah Ute is, University of Utah and the Utes. University of Utah athletics teams are known as the Utes in honor of the American Indian tribe for which the state of Utah is named. The Utes have inhabited this area of the country for at least 1,000 years. They were originally 12 Nuche, I think is how you pronounce that. I could be wrong on how that's pronounced. Or the people, bands throughout Utah and Colorado. The Utes were among the first American Indians to acquire the horse as a means of transportation. And in rock writing, the Utes are depicted as horses. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, basically it goes on to say that today the tribal headquarters of the are in Fort Duchesne, Utah, and the Utah tribe, or Ute tribe, I'm sorry, with a membership of 3,300 and its own tribal government, remains a vibrant part of the state. University of Utah, in cooperation with the Ute Tribal Business Committee, is proud to share the tradition of the Ute tribe through the Utes nickname. And it looks like, oh, I guess I thought color was here for a moment. I heard the beep.
No, my bad. My freaking cats ran and unplugged the computer.
Oh, that happened to me. My cat has realized how to turn my computer on and off.
Oh shit!
So I'll be in the middle of a show and randomly he hits the power button and I get kicked off the show. Luckily, Color's been here, so to cover for me. So that's my cat for you. Let me tell you. So that is what a Ute is. If you didn't know, it's in honor of the tribe that was there for over 1,000 years, right?
Okay.
The Utes were known as horses. That's how they're depicted, as well as they were one of the first tribes to actually use horses as a means of transportation. So, and it went all the way from Utah to Colorado area and so forth. So that is what the Utes are.
Or it's Brooklyn for youths.
Okay. All right.
Youths. The two youths.
The two youths. In addition to that, just so you're aware, Duchesne, that city they're talking about, where the headquarters is at. I'm wondering, because it has the word Dutch in it. I'm wondering if that was back from the time when you had people that were migrating from the Midwest all the way out west. The Gold Rush times.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Oregon Trail, as it was called, because a lot of Dutch people were actually migrating that way at that time. So I wonder if that has something like maybe that's where that's derived from, maybe. So that's my color segment for the moment regarding the verbiage.
What's up?
But anyway, let's keep it going here. So this is why I said this would right up your alley, right? So I mentioned that I mentioned to you that the University of Utah and the Utes have had a strong Samoan culture that has been there since the 1990s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is an interesting article that came in August of this year. When you talk about people about Utah football's culture in a word that pops often much like family, what exactly is Utah's football culture and where is it derived from? Head coach Kyle Whittingham has often talked about the diversity of his team: a third black, a third white, and a third Polynesian. Utah's roster can only be derived into semi-equal thirds with players from Utah, California, and Texas. Finally, the Utes can be split down the middle between members of the Church of Jesus Christ or Latter-day Saints and non-members. Perhaps the biggest contributing factor of Utah football's culture and family atmosphere can be traced to their warm embrace of the Polynesian culture, which started as far as back in the 1990s under then head coach Ron McBride. The legendary coach is widely known for his love of all people and taking parts of their individual culture and meaning them into one. One of those pieces that is present in to this day is the Utah Millie. So recently, defensive end coach Lewis Powell was filmed explaining the significance of the Utah Millie and how it was adopted from a war chant in the Polynesian culture for the Utes. The Utah Millie replicates a war chant that South Pacific warriors used to prepare for war. Powell said the Utah Millie is the entrance chant to let others know we are here and we are one and we are ready for war. While the Utah Millie is most often heard just before the Utes take the field on the game days, there have been other more touching instances of its use in recent memories. In 2021, Utah football had to say goodbye to their most dedicated family members in running back Ty Jordan and defensive back Aaron Lowe. In both instances, the team gathered around to do one last battle cry for their brothers, gone but never forgotten. Yeah, so that's an article. Just shout out to the person that wrote this. Let me see if they have their name. Michelle Bodkin, ASL Sports. But anyway, they're not wrong. There has been a slew of different players that have been drafted from the University of Utah that have been Samoan since the 1990s. Two of which have been very big, prominent players we had here with the Miami Dolphins. Do you know who they are, Shake?
Maybe Paul Saliai?
Paul Soliai is one of them. Do you know who the other guy is?
Tuatanga Vailoa. No. No, who's the other one?
Linebacker Koamisi.
Okomisi.
Yeah,
And there's
Koamisi also went to University of Utah. Go ahead.
There was also one that was in the 2016 draft, but he really didn't amount to nothing. He was a 5th round draft pick.
You're talking about the offensive lineman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. Isaac
Asiatum.
Yeah, that's correct. He was there also. There's been several players we've always drafted from the University of Utah. If you remember, cornerback Sean Smith was there as well. In fact, Miami became one of the few teams that had 3 players starting from the same team, to be honest. So, and that was Paul Soliai, Koamisi, and Sean Smith. That happened at one point. But there's been several Samoan players that came from the University of Utah. It's been pretty impressive, actually. Hold on one second. Let me bring up my list I had.
Now that I think about it, what sucks is we had 2 promising players that had their career short due to injury. We had Koamisi. He was turning the corner, got his injury, never bounced back. And Tony Lippett, he led the league and he led the team rather in interceptions in 2016, the year we went to the playoffs. And then something happened to his knee. He never recovered. He went to another team and couldn't get on the field because of that injury.
That's interesting. Yeah, I was trying to find the list. Hold on, let me see if this is the list I had here. Yeah, but if you look up Polynesian players when it comes to University of Utah, there's been several players over the years that they've had. In fact, in 2015, they said their entire backbone of their team was Samoan at one point. So,
well,
yeah.
I did a show with Q.
Yeah.
Covering the Polynesian culture. And the one thing, when I saw this documentary, when Troy Polamalu went to Samoa, you should check it out. Just type in Polamalu visits island of Samoa. And one thing, two things on Sunday, they don't miss: football and church. Church is huge. They don't. There's hardly, I would say, they say about 80% of the businesses closed down, except for essential like food and things like that. Pretty much 80% of the island shuts down on Sundays because of religious church to go to church.
Yeah,
so they're very, very religious, just like Utah.
Yeah, and see that's the other part of it is that not only they're very religious, but the whole premise is it's family first, right?
Yeah,
they're all really big time about their family, and Utah is adopted that as well because that's basically what they are. They're more about their family and everything like that, the family environment and whatnot. So, it's very understandable. Now, Utah, and going back to 2015 and beyond that, I've said they've had this Samoan backbone since the 1990s. Part of that Samoan backbone was during the age that they were under the regime of someone that has Florida Gator ties.
Yeah, Urban Meyer.
Yeah, Urban Meyer was the coach there at that time, so that's kind of interesting too. Let's throw that back on because I know you're a Gator fan.
Oh yeah, I know Urban
So,
Meyer. Then he went to Ohio State. Actually, you know what's funny is I think one of the reasons why that victory against Ohio State in the national championship was bittersweet for him was because I think he wanted the job, the head coaching job, and they gave it to that, I forgot who it was, but
Jim Tressel.
they gave it to him instead. He wanted that was his dream job to be an Ohio State, because I remember he was an assistant. I don't know to what capacity, but he was an assistant coach for you guys for a while, and then when the coach retired, it was up to him. It was either him and Urban Meyer, and he didn't get it, so he ended up going to Utah.
Yeah, prior to being the head coach of Utah, he was the head coach of Bowling Green State University.
Bowling Green too.
And Bowling Green, it's a good football school. That whole community is big time football. You know, I grew up 15 minutes from there, so I'm used to seeing Urban Meyer. I've met Urban Meyer's wife, family, the whole 10 yards, right? So I'll say this is that I don't think Ohio State was ready for him at the time because they not necessarily believed in that he could handle a big time school like that.
Yeah.
Right. You know, Ohio State is kind of like how do I put it? They have that rich tradition of winning, and there's high expectations.
Yeah.
And they want to be continuous contenders every year, kind of like that style. So if you ain't performing, you can walk yourself out. And if you notice, everybody that they've always hired has had a really good success. There was one year where we didn't have the best of season, and it was under an interim head coach. And you saw, even though he applied to be the main head coach, he didn't actually get the position. I think he's the coach of Cincinnati now, or something to that effect. I think some position there, but everyone they've brought in has always been successful. Jim Tressel, successful, won a national championship under Jim Tressel. In fact, I believe that was against University of Miami, I believe. What happened under Jim Tressel. And then who followed him up, you had Urban Meyer come. You know what I mean? You had that one interim season, and then Urban Meyer came.
Okay.
Right? First year of Urban Meyer, even though we were under suspension and couldn't win a national championship, guy went undefeated, bro. He actually made a trophy and gave it to the team because they went undefeated. They beat everybody in their schedule, right? First year. Second year, wins the national championship, right? And then so on. Every year after that, it's always been a contender, either making the playoffs or almost making it to the playoffs. Ryan Day comes in, makes it to the playoffs, you know, back-to-back seasons, making it to the playoffs, you know, and making a run for it. You know what I mean? So that's how it is. That's the Ohio State tradition. I don't think they were ready for him going from a MAC team to taking on a big time school like Ohio State. So that's why he had to go to Utah. And then from Utah, he had to go to University of Florida. University of Florida was like, okay, he definitely can come to Ohio State at that point. So that's
at the end of the day, look, people, the Florida Gator fans, some of them have a disdain for him, not me. Because at the end of the day, he got us 2 national championships, and I'm gonna he put us on the map. If it wasn't for those 2 national championships, we'd just be sitting on 1. So you know what I'm saying? So now we got 3.
I'm the same way.
We're 2 more closer. We're 2 more closer to catching the University of Miami.
There you go. And to be honest, I personally am the same way. Like, even though some people at Ohio State just have a disdain for him because of how he left the team and what he did and all this and all other things that happened, right? About knowing about one of his coaches, you know, assaulting his ex-wife at the time and whatnot. Yeah, all that happened under his watch. It's always been something bonehead with him. I can't. I do understand why people would want to fault him, but at the end of the day, he did let us be the very first college playoff national champion. Right.
Yep.
In addition, he set the foundation to where we would be a continuous contender every year and a big time, especially on the recruiting side of things. And even though Ryan Day is the guy in charge and it's his regime now, and he's been there for at least 2.5 years now, or however many years it's been, he still some of the stuff he's done was built what he did when he was here.
Wasn't he Urban Meyer's offensive coordinator?
Ryan Day, Ryan, either as offensive coordinator or assistant head coach of some kind. Yeah, something to that fact.
Okay.
So he's been here for quite some day, but the foundation was put together by Urban Meyer, right?
Mhm.
So I have to give it up to him. Regardless of what he did in Jacksonville or whatever happened there, another bonehead mistake or whatever, that kind of stuff. I it is what it is. But still, the foundation of the recruiting, what states we recruit from, and where we have people there where we're filtering in this talent from is because of him.
Yeah.
Getting all the guys from Florida, I kind of give that to Urban Meyer. You know what I mean? And the recruiting that we embedded in Florida is because of him, technically. Now, you could argue, yeah, you've been getting guys from Florida a lot over the years. Yeah, but if you look at it, the turbo of recruiting, if you want to call it that, came under Urban Meyer. That's where we really filtering everybody in.
Yeah. He opened up the pipeline, and at the end of the day, because of Day's connection to Urban Meyer, it stays open. But let me ask you this: if Ohio State loses to Michigan again, does that put him on the hot seat?
It depends, because they lost to Michigan and still made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
To give you an example, you know what I mean? It depends on what happens. For me, to be 100% honest, like, I'd rather win a national championship than beat Michigan.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's where I'm at now. If you're there and you're seeing the rivalry all the time, then yeah, I can understand why you want to beat Michigan every year, and I still want to beat Michigan every year. It's just that national championships is where it's at for me. I want to get over this fact that people say that we can't win national championships when I've seen over my lifetime us win 2 or 3 national championships. You know what I mean?
Here.
That's where I'm at right now. And I want to go ahead. What's going on?
I was just saying, I was just thinking, we've seen our football team, our college football team win a few. I see my baseball team win 2. I see my basketball team win 3. But the team that I love the most, Goose Egg.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. They've at least won it, but we haven't seen it, right?
Well, actually, I've seen it on VHS. Does that count?
I've seen it on VHS or YouTube as well, so I'm right there for you, bro. I mean, the reality is that the Miami Dolphins, how I see it, I think we're on the right track, and I'll tell you why. If you really break it down, that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. If you really break it down, this is 3 years straight where we had a winning season.
Yep.
Right? It may not have been 10 games or whatever like you were looking for, or plus games, but it's still a winning season, right? So the fact that you've done that continuously, it's not like we went 11-5 and then the next year we're 8-7 or whatever, or whatever it was, 8-9 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my point, is that we're not seeing that anymore. And I think we're on the up. I think this is what the right path is. And if you look at it, it's kind of similar to what Buffalo did. They had to finally make the playoffs, and then they had to continuously make the playoffs. And eventually you made deeper runs and even made it to the championship game. Just couldn't get to the Super Bowl, but we're going to get over that. I'm not worried about that. We'll get there. So we're on the right track. But on the flip side of it, going back to college real quick, I really
Give me a second.
no worries. I like that. Is that his cell phone? That's funny if that's it. That's his cell phone. I like that song. But yeah, definitely check out the Utah Utes and their Samoan culture. It's pretty interesting.
Apologize, my alarm went off. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but basically, for me, college sports in general, I definitely think people should watch it.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people. I have a friend of mine that doesn't watch college football at all. He's only NFL football, and he's just, I just can't watch it. Blah 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 blah. Well, why can't you watch it? And he gives me some excuse that, well, I don't like how they don't have a true playoff like the NFL does. And I was like, well, now we're having a 12-team playoff that comes 2024 season. I
Mhm.
think it starts something like that. So that's not going to be an excuse anymore. And if you ever watch college football, there's more on the line.
Yeah.
You can lose a game in the NFL and still make the Super Bowl and not be a problem.
Mhm.
You lose a game in college football, you may not make the playoffs. It's possible. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more on the line. There's a lot more to be won there. And
Yeah. If you lose two, forget about it. You're not you're
Mhm.
definitely eliminated.
Yeah. And the other thing is like, well, not definitely, because there's been a two loss team that's made the playoffs before, but
You
it's rare, but it's happened. It's happened.
Mhm.
But another interesting thing is the fan bases, I kind of want to say, are like trenched in. You know what I mean? You can tell the fan bases based on the region they live in and whatnot. Um, I want to say there are more hardcore fans in college football than there are in NFL. What do you think about that?
Who's that? College? Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because look, one thing of why college is a little bit more hardcore is because every state, every city has representation versus NFL. There's more than 50 cities, so
Mhm.
you only have there's more than 31 cities, so you only have 31 teams. So you really, the Dakota. Who, if I'm living in North Dakota, who do I root for? If I'm living in
Mhm.
Utah, who do I root for? You know what I mean? So in college, you have more representation. So that's why you have you could actually wear a sports team with your city and have pride that way. You know?
Yeah, it seems like it seems like in college sports that the communities that these colleges are in, and not just the community, but
Mhm.
the region also,
Yeah.
it's like it's accepted and everybody like is all it's like huge support. Like South Florida, it's all Miami Hurricanes pretty much, for the most part.
Mhm.
And then you
I'm
go
from
like
I'm
Central
from
and North
South
Florida.
Florida. I'm a Gator fan, so you know what I mean?
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. But I'm talking about if you actually
Yeah.
are in the region of the area of where the
Mhm.
college is at, you can see those teams a lot more. It's not
Yeah.
like you're trying to like see who's the Dolphin fan or Buffalo Bills fan or whatever. People just have it hanging everywhere, basically. Um, but it's really interesting. I mean, it's going to be interesting how this 12-team playoff works, and see if it actually fixes the problem with college sports today. But yeah, I'm excited. You might see a Utah Ute in the college playoff, right?
Mhm.
Hurricanes might be able to make the playoffs, because from my understanding, it's going to be the conference champion and the runner up. That's basically from what I understood, but I could be wrong about that. I have to go back and look at the rules and see how they put it in place. So it's none of this committee selection thing anymore, which thank God.
And delusional Patriots fans makes a good point. You can actually afford to go to a college game.
Depends what college game, because I can't afford to go to an Ohio State Michigan game. Tickets are upward into the thousands.
Damn.
So yeah, that game it's a sold out crowd no matter if it's in Michigan or Ohio State, and they're the most sought after tickets in my opinion in all of college sports when it comes to college football.
Yeah.
So
If
yeah,
Ohio State plays Toledo, there's probably some cheap tickets.
dude, I can probably use I used to go to University of Toledo. I used
Mhm.
to get in those games for free all the time, bro. It's not even
Mhm.
funny. So yeah. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, let's keep it moving. I want to go to
Yeah.
the next segment here. We're going to get
Gotcha.
into our Miami Dolphins, as we are a Dolphins channel. Time for some football. Big news came out of yesterday. The fullback joined the Dolphins as a free agent in spring of 2022 in reference to Alec Ingold. Miami Dolphins GM Chris Greer wasn't kidding Wednesday when he said he had a lot of contract negotiations on his plate. For the second time in 5 days, the Dolphins are signing a starter to a contract extension, this time fullback Alec Ingold. The team in Ingold have agreed to terms on a 3-year extension through the 2026 season, and confirmed by a league source, the deal reportedly is worth up to $17.2 million, which would have helped Ingold pass Baltimore Ravens' Patrick Ricard as the highest paid fullback in the NFL. The only fullback in the NFL with a higher annual salary is Kyle Juszczyk. Sorry if I can't say that correctly. Who has made the Pro Bowl the past 7 seasons, and of course played for the Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel during his time as an assistant head coach with the San Francisco 49ers. Ingold, a valuable offensive player. While fullbacks aren't necessarily popular around the NFL these days, McDaniel clearly is a proponent. I will say that fullback, in my opinion, is underrated and underutilized in the NFL today.
Yeah.
And I think it would definitely be helpful for a lot of teams, to be honest. There are still teams that use it, but I'm just saying it's underutilized and it's underrated, to be honest. The Dolphins signed Ingold last offseason after the Las Vegas declined to extend a qualifying offer when he was a restricted agent. Ingold had done good work for the Raiders in his 3 NFL seasons, but incoming head coach Josh McDaniels instead brought in fullback Jacob Johnson, who with him from New England. Despite coming back from a torn ACL the previous November and a thumb injury late in 2022 that required an in-season surgery, Ingold played every game for the Dolphins and started 14 games. While his main job was blocking, Ingold did have 6 rushing attempts and gained a first down on 5 of them. He also caught 15 passes for 105 yards and 1 touchdown. Ingold's signing removes another pending unrestricted free agent for the Dolphins in 2024, dropping the list to 18. All right. So Alec Ingold gets paid. What do you think about it? Do you think the numbers are okay? Were you disappointed he got signed before others? Like, tell me what you think about it.
I mean, I wasn't disappointed at all, because at the end of the day, you look at San Francisco, you look at 49ers had the Kansas City Chiefs have a fullback, believe it or not. You look at the Patriots for years had fullbacks. So at the end of the day, fullbacks aren't used by every team, but a lot of the winning teams have a fullback. So that should tell you they're underrated, and I could see them possibly making a comeback as well.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. Having the fullback there is definitely, I think it's underrated because there's a lot of things that you can do with a fullback. A fullback technically can be your Swiss Army knife. All right. He can definitely help in the blocking game, especially on the offensive line. Let's say your offensive line is not great, but they're not good either. They can definitely help to alleviate some of that lack of talent. In addition, the fullback can be used as a decoy in the play, especially with handoffs, or put the fullback into motion and do different things there. In addition, the fullback can be helpful in the receiving game and the running play game. On the goal line, or on your 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s. There's a lot of things the fullback can do. It's not just a one-trick pony, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just bringing this up real quick. All right, just looking at the current NFL teams that use a fullback. Let's see what we got here. I mean, there's quite a few fullbacks that are rostered. You just don't see them or hear about them as much. You know what I mean? You don't see them being used. I mean, obviously, the guy I mentioned earlier from the 49ers, Kyle Juszczyk. Sorry if I didn't say that correctly. Alec Ingold. You got Patrick Ricard from the Ravens. Derek Watt from the Steelers. CJ Ham. I wonder if it's Derek Watt related to JJ Watt. Is he part of the Watt family?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. Didn't know that. Oh, interesting. Andrew Beck. Even
Edmonds.
even Buffalo Bills has Reggie Gilman. Yeah, there's a lot of teams that have fullbacks. Everyone pretty much has fullbacks, but they don't use them. You might see them in special teams. You might see them play here or there. Alec Ingold seemed to be being used a lot last season in different ways. So it'll be interesting. I want to see more of him. I think part of the running game, and that's probably why they did this. I think the fullback position is essential to some of the running game that Miami wants to do. And it was more of a move for the future than it was for necessarily what we saw last year. You know what I mean? I think they plan on running the ball. I think this is more evidence they plan on running the ball a lot more. So what do you think?
I agree. Plus, they could also be used as a tight end as well.
Definitely.
Charles Clay was our fullback before he converted to tight end. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go over the next segment. Dolphins add former Patriots starter to practice squad. This is interesting. Our practice squad is starting to beef up a lot more. I'm starting to notice, and it seems like Dolphins tend to find an eventual starter in the practice squad. Usually, and it's not necessarily a full-time starter, but someone that you can see starting games definitely. So let's pull this up here. So the Dolphins signed veteran player with special teams experience in 2023 to the practice squad. The Miami Dolphins filled out their 16-player practice squad Thursday by adding 8 newcomers, and one of them is a former starter for the New England Patriots. Pass rusher Chase Winovich, a 2019 third-round pick who started 11 games for the Patriots before being traded to the Cleveland Browns last year, was added to the Dolphins developmental unit. Winovich, who has contributed 105 tackles, 12 sacks, 1 interception in the 53 NFL games he played, is scheme versatile and has extensive experience, 667 snaps, as a core special team contributor. Outside linebacker happens to be a position of need for the Dolphins because Miami decided to release Malik Reed earlier this week and is using Andrew Van Ginkel at both outside and inside linebacker. Cameron Good is a 2022 7th-round pick who also signed to Miami's practice squad this week, filling out the outside linebacker unit with featuring Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Emmanuel Ogba on the frontline players. Winovich, who spent most of last season on Cleveland's injured reserve list because of a troublesome hamstring injury he suffered in September, isn't the only veteran player added to the practice squad who can help Miami's special teams unit. Safety Joshua Kalu, who spent training camp with the Washington Commanders but didn't make the 53-man roster, is viewed as a strong special teams contributor. He played in 44 NFL games with 5 starts for the Tennessee Titans since joining the league in 2018. Kalu has contributed 68 tackles and 1 interception in his 624 defensive snaps. He played 711 special teams in the NFL career. Miami also signed defensive lineman Rashard Lawrence, a 2019 4th-round pick of the Arizona Cardinals, who played 25 games, career games with 13 starts, totaling 30 tackles in 1 forced fumble. He joined Deshaun Hand and Randy Charlton as the defensive lineman on Miami's practice squad. Hand and Charlton were among the 8 players signed to that unit's Wednesday. Linebacker Alexander Johnson, who's a late addition to training camp, and cornerback Ethan Bonaire, an undrafted rookie from Stanford, are the final 2 defensive players on the practice squad. Interesting. Dolphins gain offensive line help. Dolphins added rookie offensive tackle James Tunstall, who spent training camp with the Dolphins this summer, and guard Jason Hines, a former LSU offensive lineman who was selected in the 6th round of the 2022 draft, who was in camp with the New England Patriots. One interesting nugget about Hines is that he began his career at LSU as a defensive lineman before being moved to offensive line. Center Alama Ulave and former San Diego State standout who spent all of training camp in Miami in the third offensive lineman. Is the third offensive lineman on the practice squad. We also added 2 tight ends, which I'm so surprised at how little tight ends we kept on the 53-man roster. That was interesting. You know what I mean? So Nick Bowers, a former Penn State standout, joined Tanner Connor as the 2 tight ends on the practice squad. Bowers spent the 2022 on Cincinnati's practice squad and was with the Bengals the past offseason and training camp. He played in 5 NFL games going back to 2021 season with the Raiders. Darrington Evans, a tailback to Tennessee Titans, selected in the 3rd round in 2020 draft, joined the team Thursday. Evans gained 120 yards, 30 carries. He's had for the Titans and Bears the past 3 seasons. He served as a kickoff returner in the first 2 seasons of his career, and receiver Raleigh Webb rounds out the practice squad newcomers. Webb, former Citadel standout who played in 12 games for 2 different teams, Baltimore and New England, as a rookie last season, and Braylon Sanders, who spent most of last season on Miami's practice squad, are the receivers on Miami's practice squad. So thank you to Omar Kelly, who provided us this information. This is interesting. Let me ask you this. Are you disappointed in what Miami has done after the 53-man roster? Were you expecting them to bring in more prominent names that are out there in free agency to bolster their defensive line, specifically the defensive tackle position, like a nose tackle? Or are you disappointed we didn't try to keep some of the players that we let go, that we cut? I mean, like, even people said we were bringing Robbie Chosen back, and I haven't seen it. I'm still on Chosen watch. We haven't re-signed him as far as I know.
Nope. And also, another thing I'm disappointed is that we haven't whatchamacallit, we didn't trade for Taylor. At the end of the day, it's,
we didn't trade for Taylor. Jeff Wilson gets put on the IR. on the IR, right? And now all you have is Brooks, Mostert, and just maybe an A-Chain for game 1. And not even that. A-Chain's not even healthy. So really it's just Brooks and Mostert are the most healthiest 2 guys. What if one of them go down? What are you going to do then? When are you going to pull the trigger and bring in a Kareem Hunt or Savon Ahmed has a head injury right now?
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I mean, come on, dude. When are you gonna go get yourself a Leonard Fournette? When are you gonna go get yourself a Kareem Hunt? And now Melvin Gordon is out there. You could get Melvin Gordon. When are you gonna bring one of these guys in? We need somebody here. I don't trust this running back room. This is like there's in Greek mythology, they say that Achilles was dipped in the power of the gods by his Achilles, right? That he got held on, and that's why his Achilles are glass. Well, the running back room, I think, is our glass Achilles. You wipe out our running back room, I think we're done.
Yeah, we're one-dimensional.
We're one-dimensional, and we're done. And that's my biggest concern. That's why I think Chris Greer is more on a hot seat right now than even Mike McDaniel is. People are trying to say McDaniel's on the hot seat and question our McDaniel's emotions and stuff in the chat, like they did yesterday and all throughout the day and everything. Constantly saying, I don't trust this guy. He doesn't show his emotions. He does show his emotions. He just does it in a different way, right? And I think the guy that you need to question the trust on is Chris Greer. Now, I'm not going to discount Chris Greer. I'm going to give him where his props are due. He definitely has been a really good negotiator of trades, mostly. He's made some trades that have brought several key pillars to this team and superstars, so I can't discount him there, right? I can't discount him in the sense, since he's had full control, he has not put us in a position where it's going to hurt us if we move off of a player. It's 3 seasons, and they have an out. He's done that consistently, right? He did try to bring Jonathan Taylor here. He did make several offers in several packages, but Obviously, Jim Irsay wanted a lot more, right? Crazy more. Like, I think, or I want to give a performance enhancing test of drugs on Irsay because it was ridiculous. He's on some type of substance of what he was asking for, right? He wants Waddle, and now it's coming out that he wanted Christian Wilkins, he wanted Waddle, he wanted Rob Hunt, he wanted basically our whole team. He wanted to swap teams. We'll give you our team, we'll take your team. That's basically what he wanted.
And what's funny is that Laramie Tunsil trade. Chris Greer didn't ask for it; they offered it, so he knows that.
Yeah, we didn't go shopping; they came to us. They came to us and offered it. All the trades that we've made last season, I don't think we went shopping. I think they came to us. Like, for example, the Pittsburgh with Mika Fitzpatrick. I don't think they went and tried to shop him. Yeah, there was some disgruntledness there, but I think teams came and started asking him about it. Hey, I know you guys got some issue. We'll give you this, type of thing. And that's what made things, move a lot quicker. What else? So those are the issues that I have with Chris Greer is I don't think that we properly addressed positions of need the way we should have. He did address the offensive line and went Moneyball buying, and he brought in Isaiah Wynn, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And I can kind of see where the talent is there regarding the offensive line. The biggest issue I have with this is that you traded away Dan Feeney, so that's more of our depth gone away. Now the question is, who can be our backup center, right? We still don't have a true backup center. Why do we constantly have to get these guys that are guards playing center? Why can't we just draft or bring in a true center? Why don't we just do that, right? Easy fix. Maybe that's part of the problem why you're getting all these high snaps, because you're getting someone to play a different position than what their natural position is. Maybe that's what it is. That we didn't really address the offensive line the way I would have. Now, I understand that they feel that the offensive line just needs to be average. I get that. And they can take the funds and put it elsewhere. But where else did you put it? Did you bring in a middle linebacker that we really needed? No, you bargain shopped and brought in David Long because you got him on the cheap. And then in addition to that, you then realized, we don't have the size that we need at middle linebacker. I'm going to go ahead and bring over Andrew Van Ginkel from outside linebacker and kind of fit him in there in a dual role because he's much bigger. Why didn't you just go get yourself an big time middle linebacker, right? You could even had Roquan Smith for next to nothing. You could have had him last year when he was getting traded, and you didn't do that. Why? I don't know, because he would have fit this defense in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah, he would have fit. He would have fit. Our coach, because he drafted him.
Yeah, and now you find out that you're the guy that was going to be the guy to sit next to Javon Holland at safety. He's injured now and out for I want to say for a long period of time, and that's Elijah Campbell, right? He was the guy that was really making a name. Everyone said that they saw him as the eventual starter next to Javon Holland. He's the one that's been the best. Brandon Jones really hasn't gotten to take off because he was on the PUP list mostly, and they've been bringing them along, slowly. That's part of the issue, right? So now you have a need at safety, right? Well, you still haven't addressed that the way I would have. You got Eric Rowe out there. You could bring him back. I think he'd come back on the cheap, to be honest. So I don't know. My point is that we haven't done that yet. Now, will he do this? We'll see. I mean, there's time for him to still bring in some of these people, but I think time is the essence. You're seeing teams sign people all over the place. You need to go get your depth, and you need to do it now. That's just my opinion. So, any final thoughts on that before we move on?
No, David Long is pretty good. I like David Long. He's been.
He's good, but we definitely have a size issue at linebacker, right? Middle linebacker specifically. He's good, but I think you need more. You need more in different situations where a larger linebacker would work. Top of the morning, CB83. I see you in here, man. What's up, buddy?
CB?
Yeah, delusional Patriots fan, Mr. Paulk. I see you. NFL lit. Our resident Chargers fan is in here.
Oh, he got cut. Delusional Patriots fan. He got cut from the Panthers. Eric Rowe.
Who did? Eric Rowe. He got cut from the Panthers. Yes. Yeah. So he's out there now. You can go bring him back. I would do it. You know, he has familiarity with the Dolphins organization. But does he fit a Vic Fangio scheme though? That's the question mark you have. What's up, Aquavision? Josh Capel, how's it going? Or Keppel? Sorry if I didn't say that correctly.
And one last thing I want to bring up. I think the fact that during the Flores regime, everybody was complaining, "Oh man, I can't believe he's not putting the offensive line. He's like you said, instead of putting a national like a center, he's putting a guard at center, a guard at tackle, and stuff like that." He goes, "We're not putting our offensive line in their natural position." Guess what? We haven't done that either.
Yeah, we haven't. Are you talking about like we haven't done that at all?
Mm-hmm.
We've always tried to convert someone else to something else. Now, I understand they love versatility. They love that. You know, I get that. But at some point, the key positions, that's the issue. I really think you just need to put somebody in there that can fill those needs. See, in my opinion, versatility is great at the depth position. You don't need necessary versatility as the starting position. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's just my opinion, though, because like, has Austin Jackson really proven that he can take the next step forward? You know, has he done that? I don't really think so. Has Eichenberg shown anything this offseason that he can take the next step forward? I'm sorry, but unless he's playing like a god under the bubble, I don't really know what to tell you. You know what I mean? I don't get it. You could have had yourself what was his name? Dwayne Jones, I think his name was. Dwayne Jones from Ohio State last season. He was the pure right tackle that got drafted. I think he went in the late second or early third round or something like that, right? You could have drafted him, right? That guy was a beast in the Hall of Fame game. He basically had almost 100% blocking rate, almost throwing Jets players around like they were ragdolls, bro. Right? You could have had him at right tackle, right? Then that right tackle would be solidified. Period. You're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? That's my thing. Is like, in part of it also, and I have to like take a step back also. Maybe this offensive line, the way it's designed and meant to be ran, is a lot different than your standard offensive lineman. Maybe that's why, and maybe it's gonna look like shit until these guys just, you know, have it down. Maybe any player we bring in, it's gonna look like shit. I don't know. I don't know really what the problem is, but I don't understand why you want to always try to draft a player but make him something else. Tight end. What did we do? We needed a tight end. You went and got Elijah Higgins and tried to convert him to tight end. And then what did you do? You cut him, right? And then thinking, oh, I'll be able to just bring him right back. Nope. Arizona Cardinals came swooping in and said, nope, we're taking Elijah Higgins from you.
Oh, damn.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Every time you lost 2 of your draft picks last season to other teams because you thought they would just go ahead and sweep under the rug. Right? I'm sorry, but Elijah Higgins, I think, could have done something here. Could have been something, but you should have protected him more so. I understand why Ryan Hayes was cut. I didn't think he was making the team personally. Yeah. I didn't think he was. You know. Yeah, and that's correct, CB83. This is the last weekend without football. We are definitely on the last week. We have 7 days from Sunday, right? Will be our first game. I cannot wait.
Me neither.
Now, great. CB83, I agree. We have a great team, right? Don't get me wrong. I love this team. I believe in this team. I know we're going to be successful. I know we're going to make a playoff run and stuff. But because I have Super Bowl aspirations, I'm really judging the depth on this team. I have a concern at depth at key positions. And so far, everything we've done, we really haven't addressed it. We've addressed here and there in positions we didn't really need, right? But we have not addressed nose tackle, for example. We have not fully addressed the offensive line the way I would have. And right now, running back is the Achilles heel. I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to run this ball very long without running backs, and all of your running backs are getting injured left and right. Right, the only person that's clean right now from injuries, I would say, is Brooks and maybe Raheem Mostert, because he took a knock earlier on in the preseason, but he's been fine ever since, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, A-Chain is day to day now, but still, I've looked it up. Shoulder injuries, even if you don't require surgery, take 4 to 6 weeks to really come back from to be fully healed. You know what I mean? Or at least not have any pain anymore.
Oh, here's the thing. Look, at the end of the day, we're doing a Dolphin Talk show. Look, at the end of the day, we realize that every team, you can critique every team, and that's what all we're doing is talking. There's nothing we could do about the 53-man roster. We're just talking about what we would have done differently. We're still behind this team, and that's all that is. Whether we agree with what Chris Greer did or not, we're still behind him, and we're just content creators. We're just, I don't say it's complaining, but I'm just saying we're just bringing up the questions. This is what I would have done differently. This is what I would have addressed. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And come Monday, we're all going to be rooting for this team, baby.
Yeah, come Monday, we're going to definitely be rooting. And to be honest, come Sundays and Mondays or even Thursdays, doesn't matter. I'm rooting for this team 24/7, right? I don't care. Yeah. Listen, you can ask anybody that's seen me, right? Anybody that's met me in person, anybody that's gone to the games with me. You can ask my best friend who him and I share season tickets, and we go to the game every single game, right? I root for this team, win, lose, or draw, it does not matter. I'm rooting for this team 24/7, even when we're down by 50 or whatever it may be. I don't care. I'm rooting for this team. I don't care who's at the quarterback. I don't care who's at running back or what team. Step up. You're right, C83. You need Brooks to step up. I definitely need him to play way beyond what we think he is, right? I definitely need that. But I need Chris Greer to at least address some of the positions of need for the long haul of this season. Why did you open up all this cap at this point when you didn't really need to, if you didn't plan on bringing anybody in? That's what my question mark. What is their plan? You know what I mean? I don't know. That's maybe where I'm at. Let's keep it moving, though. I got one more segment.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's keep it moving, though. I don't want to dwell on this too much. I want to go to the next segment here. But before I do, at the end of this next segment, we're going to be taking questions as we did yesterday. We'll do Q&A for the last 10 minutes or so. At this time, please put in your questions you have for us in the chat. And after this segment, we'll go ahead and start answering some of those questions to end the tailgate, top of the tailgate. Let's keep on going here. Let's see. So the next article, this one is for the Buffalo Bills fans, right? This one's for the Buffalo Bills fans, and primarily Michael K and Mark specifically. Mark specifically, actually. Do you remember when the whole Tyreek Hill situation happened and we were getting berated by Bills fans asking, what are we going to do without our top wide receiver? And now we need to be realists. He's going to get suspended and he needs to be kicked out and all this other stuff that they were saying. Do you remember that, Shake?
Yeah.
Do you remember that time frame when we were sitting here and I told everybody I'm not going to make any further comments until we saw a video, until all the facts came out. I swear up and down I wasn't going to, and I stood to that. Yep. I didn't go on a rampage of how pissed off I am at him or blaming him or saying he's guilty. I said, let's wait till the video comes out. Let's wait till the things comes out and then we'll comment, right? Well, the facts did come out. There was an altercation. He supposedly slapped an older man on the back of the head or whatever. And there was some dispute about getting on a boat or whatnot, if they were allowed to or whatnot. And those are the details that we have about what actually happened. In addition to it, a video came out. A video came out that shows them trying to hold Tyreek back, but I didn't even see a slap on the back of the head. I saw a flick to the back of the head.
Yeah, like a little Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like how like somebody comes up behind you and goes like that and flicks you on the back of the head.
Not like a
You know what I'm
brush.
saying?
It was like more like a brush, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, what is this, Flickgate? Because that's what I would have called it if they would have really gone after him for this. But we saw that, and then there was an announcement by both parties, both lawyers that represented both people, and said that they settled their differences, and they left it at that. No further details were needed to be provided. That they were moving on, and that there's no issue, and they've settled their differences in a civil manner, and everything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They moved on. Right? That's what happened.
Exactly.
Well, the NFL finally made judgment, and let's read about it. Tyreek Hill won't face NFL suspension. Tyreek Hill won't face disciplinary action for an incident at a South Florida marina where he allegedly slapped an employee of a charter boat, charter boat, in the back of the head. The NFL confirmed Hill, the Miami Dolphins' biggest star and leading receiver, won't be suspended or fined for his involvement in the incident, which Hill settled with the alleged victim. One second. Caller, welcome to the show. Let me just finish reading this.
Sorry, that was an auto bring-in. Sorry about that, Ollie.
It's okay. Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office spokesman Ed Griffith indicated last month that this case is closed and no charges were filed. In a written statement provided to the media, the individual who have been termed a victim if there had been a filed case met with Assistant State Attorney Robert Fiallo, I think that's how you pronounce that, and signed a form saying he did not want to press charges. On the form, he also indicated that no threats, promises, or coercion played a part in his decision. At the conclusion of the Dolphins' first training camp practice, Hill publicly addressed it, saying, "I can't make bonehead mistakes like that." Hill missed the past 2 seasons of practice because of what was termed an excused absence. So he missed the last 2 days of practice. The Dolphins returned to practice Monday after 3 days of off to begin a full-on preparations for the season opener against the Los Angeles Chargers on September 10th. So there you have it. I'm cashing in my receipts, Buffalo Bills fans. I want your apology letters written to Tyreek Hill and to the TFTG, who stood by Tyreek Hill and said that no charges would come to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it was an unfortunate incident. Should he have gotten irate and kind of like charged at the guy a little bit? No, that he could have done a little bit better. It was kind of a bonehead mistake. But we still don't know. We still don't know what was said that even caused him to be that way. We still didn't get that full information. They never really put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and by the way, when we receive those apology letters from those guys, I'm gonna have it printed out, sent to the merch store, and sold as toilet paper.
All right, there you go. Shake Bunny is marketing the toilet paper. Let me tell you. Do you have any thoughts on that, Color?
Yeah, actually, I do. First of all, good morning, everybody. It's been a hell of a week, man, and I just couldn't get there this morning, man. But as somebody who myself tends to overreact quite a bit to being slighted, I understand where everybody's coming from. You can't act that way. I get it, but being a guy who that frequently happens to, I'm not going to excuse myself, but I will say that there's usually a reason for everything, whether a legit reason or not. There is a provocation, and it's not like Tyreek or myself or anybody that who can relate is going around, waking up every morning, going around saying, "Who can I overreact to today?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's usually provoked in some way, whether it's a perceived slight or whether it is an actual slight.
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of where I was at.
Not an excuse, just pointing that out.
Yeah, definitely. It's not an excuse for how he acted, but I just wanted to know what provoked him to even act that way. That's what I wanted to know. We kind of got told some information that supposedly they were getting on the wrong boat, and this charter person was helping people get him off the boat or telling them to get off the boat or whatever. that still didn't provoke. That shouldn't still provoke somebody from acting that way. I just want to know what was said, because obviously something had to have been done. Something had to have been said, like maybe he used vulgar language or something. I want to know what it is.
Yeah, again, I can't remember a time where I just flipped out like I do and for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what? One thing I want to bring up with this incident, it trips me out how I don't think it was a big deal. Nobody want Tyreek Hill fired, but the second Ryan Clark made a bad joke, everybody wanted him gone from the network. This, you know what I'm saying? It's like they pick and choose who they want canceled, and I didn't think that the Ryan Clark, yeah, it was a bad joke, but he shouldn't have been fired for what he said. And I think that incident was a lot worse than calling somebody comparing somebody to a stripper.
Right. And get him, Mr. Polk, get him.
Yeah, so Mark is coming out and saying that I'm only going to read his comment only because he's trying to defend himself. It says, just because the NFL didn't suspend Hill doesn't mean he conducted himself in a manner consistent as a civil person. You're absolutely right, which we've all said that he should not have charged at the guy and had to be held back. I agree. But still, I don't think it's right for somebody to say something, whatever, however they feel. And to be honest, I still think how whatever this person said had to been damning for Tyreek to act this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think it's funny that
I
think it's funny that Mark is saying that when he invited Michael K to a fight, and when he goes in Buffalo, say, I'm going to be in row 301. See me, come talk to me when you see when I'm in Buffalo. So he threatened physical violence towards Michael K. He wanted to beat him up. Like, oh, let's come see me. So that's not civil either.
Yeah. So Mark is really doubling down on his stance against Hill. I think he just has this stance against Hill because he knew his team just wasted 130 some million or whatever it is on Von Miller.
The reason I'm sorry. I was just going to say the reason Mr. Polk is rightfully telling him not to move the goalpost is because Mark has never made the righteous case. He's been coming at us with the take that Hill will be suspended. When nobody ever said that he acted civilly or anything like that. Now you're claiming that's what we were arguing with you about, and we were never arguing with you about that. We were arguing with the fact that whether he would be suspended or whether it would affect our team this year or not. And we were right. That's why Mr. Polk is accusing you of moving the goalpost, because you are.
Thank you.
Oh, man. But anyway, Color, thank you for coming and joining the channel. You missed a pretty good show so far.
Oh, I'm sure I did. I'm going to have to rewatch it with the rest of the stragglers, which we all are rewatching it, aren't we, people?
So, Color, I got to try my special coffee.
Yeah, right. Come talk to me, whatever you say.
It tastes interesting. It's a little bit more nutty and oily than I prefer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's because you prefer more than me, and so that can be pretty heavy.
It was a little bit heavy. It's a little bit more oily than I'm used to.
Is it a medium roast or labeled a medium roast or did they have any kind of category like that, like a spectrum like that?
Let me take a look here.
Or is it all like, this is our coffee and this love it or leave it?
This was actually their Colombian flavor.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah. I mean, you're gonna get the richest and the the best example of the Western Hemisphere bean.
Before you say anything, just so you know, I did not reveal for certain reasons the name of the said coffee. I'm just calling it special coffee.
Oh yeah.
And I said it was herbally infused. That's all I said. So.
I thought maybe it was like some Colombian gold or something. Is that what it's called?
No, it's called something else. But but I
Oh,
will,
that's
as I define,
Acapulco Gold. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to do more research on the company and stuff before I actually speak about it, which I'll probably do next week.
hmm
But there's some other factors I have to take in that I have to find out first before I can reveal who they are and where you can get it and all that kind of stuff. I have
That
to do some research.
sounds like some coffee I might like though.
So, and let me
Yeah.
ask you a question.
Mhm.
Does this sound like a civil conversation? I will be in Buffalo for the Raiders game, Section 308. If you have the nuts to come to the game and run your mouth to me, you POS. That sounds like a very civil conversation.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Shake pointing out a double standard. Yeah. That's
very civil.
That's the Marco standard.
Mhm.
Wow. Actually, Mark just asked where was that, and you just said it. That's the threat. He got you, Mark. What's your comment now? Mark trying to start fights in the Buffalo Bills stands like 49ers fans fight in their stadium. Holy shit. I think that's actually right. Mark's from over that area. Didn't he live in California? He's probably been going to 49ers stadiums too much and he sees all these fights probably.
Yeah, he was living over in Lit's neck of the woods, old San Diego.
So last 15 minutes of the show, we're going to be answering questions. Put in your questions in the chat. I'm going to go through and see if I found any. We'll see if we can answer those for you. Trying to see if there's any questions put in there yet. Crazy Dolphin, it says the NFL should suspend Mark. Where's Roger Goodell's burner? We should get him to make a declaration live on TFTG. That'd be funny.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
But anyway, we from Buffalo.
Yeah, to talk about the rest of the show with you real quick, Color. We also had a segment on Samoan culture for Utah. Come to find out, some prominent former Miami Dolphins played for Utah that were Samoan.
Oh, really?
Such as Paul Soliai went to Utah.
Oh, everybody's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
Everybody's go-to.
And let's not forget, one-time favorite linebacker Koemisi went to Utah as well.
Yeah, that's right.
He was also Samoan. And we also drafted the offensive lineman Isaac. What was his name? Asiata. He went to Utah as well. Who's also a Samoan. But come to find out, they've really embraced Polynesian culture there since the 1990s. And we also discussed the history about the Utes and why they're called the Utes.
Oh, great! I'm glad you did that. So I was pretty informative in my quick default answer that I've been giving people about what a Ute is.
What was your default answer?
They are a Native American tribe from Utah.
That is correct. That's exactly what it is, and we discussed that, and we also explained that the Utes, who inhabited that area for over 1,000 years ago,
along with their counter tribe, the Paiutes.
Yes, but they also were originally known as the Nuche, or also known as the people.
Right. Is that what they called themselves?
Exactly.
Right. Gotcha.
And they also were one of the very first Native American tribes that used horses as a form of transportation.
Oh yes, that's correct.
In rock writing, they are depicted as horses.
Oh wow, that is correct. When the Mormons first got out to that area, and built a bunch of missions and settlements, they had direct interface with the Utes and the Paiutes, and there's a lot of good and bad with all that, but there's a lot of historical stuff involved with that, like stories and incidents and lots of rich history between the people of Utah and how they've interacted with the Utes and the Paiutes as they grew as a state. It's really fascinating stuff. And history that you can touch. You can go to northern Arizona. You can go to Utah, places like in Utah. You can touch this stuff. You can actually go into these places where these people interacted with each other, you know, when the Mormons first got out there and all that. Really great stuff, man.
Mhm.
And also, Ute is also youth for a Brooklyn accent.
Yes, that is correct. That is also a young person from New York, a Ute.
Yeah.
If you ever watched My Cousin Vinny, the two Utes.
The two Utes.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Gambini, what is a Ute?
So I'm trying to answer Mr. Paulk's. Let me do this. Let me do this a different way. This website.
Hey, you know
I'm
that was
using-
Herman Munster, right, Shake?
Yeah. Herman Munster.
Yeah, I forget the actor's name. He's a good actor, by the way.
Yeah, he died probably, 10 years ago, I think?
Did
Maybe
he?
a little longer.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, he also was the old man in Pet Sematary.
That's right. He was. I forgot about that. The original Pet Cemetery color. The original.
Correct. With what's her name from Star Trek, Tasha Yar's actress. It's like the only other thing she did. Denise Crosby, that's her name.
Trying to bring up let me see if this will. It's the website that I'm trying to bring up the most accurate information at. It's running super slow. But the question is, are there any free agent centers we could pick up? I'm assuming there is, but I have to bring up the list, and that's what I'm trying to do right now.
And by the way, shout out to Jamaican from Zion. Yes, Ute is also a young person in Jamaican accent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is true. There's a song from what is it? Oh, I forget the name. Oh gosh, I can't remember his name. Buju Banton does a song that was on the soundtrack to When Nature Calls, Ace Ventura, and it was a song that was a collaboration with Sting, but it's kind of like a little reggae-ish tune. It's at the end credits of Ace Ventura. That movie, they actually use the word Ute in the Jamaican accent in that song. So yeah, I've heard that before too.
Yeah, they must be updating Sport Track because now it's telling me Sport Track is not available at this time. So
wow, maybe some trades have gone down. They're about to release.
Maybe I think what they're doing is coming out with all the financials information for some of the people we've re-signed and stuff.
Or
like
the
that.
overnight guy didn't show up for the graveyard shift and they're doing maintenance on their servers.
Yeah, something like that. Let me see if I can break it down to position.
Damn. Also, I know Harmon Monster did the original Car 54. Where are you?
Yeah, that's something correct. That is correct. Let me see here. I think Ben Jones is still available. Ben Jones, he's played for Tennessee Titans, I believe.
That sounds like the name of a running back that Bill Belichick would turn into a star. I don't know why, but Ben Jones, you know, like
he's a center. Yeah, he's a center. There's a lot of guards available, surprisingly. Taylor Lewan is an offensive tackle that's still available.
Well, from what I understand, he's been on record to say if he comes back, he wants to play tight end. He's lost too much weight for a lineman.
I believe that, actually.
I guess he was chopping it up with somebody on an interview and mentioned that that's what he'd do if he came back.
Yeah. It's not letting me see what the up-to-date list is, but Ben Jones is a name that's available out there from what I heard. What other questions you guys have? We got 6 more minutes. Put it in the chat. I'm going through trying to see if I can find any questions outside of this Mark hate that's going on right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out, Mr. Polk. Thank you. That looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Color, I almost forgot regarding the Polynesian culture that is being embraced in Utah. It primarily derives from the culture that Utah has about being a family first community and prioritizing family above all else. That's why they've embraced it so easily, because that's one of the main pillars of Samoan culture. Is
Hey,
family first.
well, let me ask you this, Ali and Color. What do you think of this? I remember, because like I said, when I first started coming here, doing stuff, they were saying that there was a big rift before. This is way before training camp started. That there's a big rift in the locker room between Zappy and Mac Jones, and now Zappy is on the practice squad.
Did he get on the practice squad? Because I didn't think they picked him up.
Yeah, he's on the practice squad now.
I'm telling you right now, that's really sad, because I know a lot of Patriots fans that think he should be the starter personally.
Mm-hmm. And now there's the Cunningham guy. He's the
guy from is that the guy that they picked up from the Panthers? Because they picked up somebody from the Panthers.
Well, I tell you, if it was over here and the same thing went down,
yeah,
I'd be one out there complaining that everybody's appealing to Mike McDaniel's authority. But in this case, hey, Bill Belichick is a 6-time Super Bowl champion winning coach. Yep. I'm gonna go with Mac Jones on this one. Sorry, Billy or Bailey or however you pronounce your name. Mm-hmm. What can I say? You overstepped, bro.
Real quick, we'll talk about this really quickly. This will be the last segment, and then we're going to close it down real quick. So, Miami Dolphins NFL total win prediction: the over 9.5, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, has plus 100. Click, and it goes on to say Miami Dolphins NFL season record and schedule predictions. There is one thing that weighs heavily on us as we made our Dolphins predictions for the year: the schedule. The AFC East has 4 of the 5 toughest schedules in the league based on the 2022 winning percentage. And just so you know, this is according to Zach Lutz, I think that's how you say that. That means a tough slate ahead for the Miami Dolphins. The season begins with the Chargers. The division will feature a pair of games against the Bills, Patriots, and Jets, none of which will be easy. There's a trip to Philly in October, the visit to Arrowhead 2 weeks later, which is not Arrowhead. This person is behind. It's in Germany. Let's get it right, not Arrowhead. And later on, a home game against the Cowboys on Christmas Eve. For some reason, and I don't know why, I've read multiple articles where these people are saying that the game is going to be in Arrowhead, and it's not. It's in Germany.
Because AI is writing it for them, bro. We're exposing them right now. That's an AI mistake, because AI has no idea the game's been moved.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's been on multiple different articles now. And I'm like, dude, get it right. Do your research.
I'm telling you, they're writing it with AI. They're abdicating their responsibility, bro.
And if you don't know, the Germany game for Miami versus Chiefs sold out in like 15 seconds. Over 1.5 million people in queue trying to get tickets for that game. That's how big that game is, right? That game is going to be televised worldwide, and it's going to be one of the most watched NFL games.
They should have had a drawing, like a sweepstakes for people to be able to buy tickets.
Bro, like I'm from what my friend says, because he lives in England and he tries to go to all the NFL games in Europe. He was telling me that he knows people that were trying to buy tickets, and they from scalpers and stuff like that, and they're like, it's ridiculous money. It's like nowhere in their right mind would they ever pay anything like that here unless it's a Super Bowl.
Right. So, it's like Super Bowl prices for one game.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's like, holy crap. So Dolphins win total in win-loss record prediction for 2023-24 season. It's tough road ahead for the Miami Dolphins in 2023. The additions of David Long, despite being injury concern, has the ability to be a high-end linebacker when he's on the field. If he can stay healthy, can be a major addition. Then there's cornerback Jalen Ramsey, still widely considered one of the best. He'll miss the first several weeks of the season. Who knows what he will look like when he gets back. The defense will need to be as good as it can be facing their top tier offense like the Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, and Chargers. Any and every win matters on the schedule this year. The Miami Dolphins are one of the most talented teams in the AFC, given some of their major contenders that also call the AFC home. The Kansas City Chiefs, defending Super Bowl champions, the Buffalo Bills, and the Cincinnati Bengals. That's high praise. Look for the Dolphins to win at least 10 games this year, covering the 9.5 plus 100 set by DraftKings. There are a lot of swing games on the schedule to consider, but if the Fins can stay healthy, they can have one of the best offenses in the league with Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Tua. Our team's expert Dolphins predictions have a wild card berth pegged, but don't be shocked if the team takes a leap forward and challenges for a division crown. If you want to follow our Dolphins predictions, you can do so at DraftKings Sportsbook, and it includes their link. And this is an article that you can find on Sports Illustrated, just so you know. Yeah, it's the same thing over again. I really do think they had AI write this article, to be honest. You're right. Because the way he go, if you look at the next part of the article, he starts off the same way again. He goes and says, there's a long road ahead for the Miami Dolphins. He said that like 3 times throughout this whole article.
Wow.
Like, how many times do you have to tell us that? We get it. We get it. There's a long road ahead.
And I can even imagine him telling the AI, make sure you reflect that the Dolphins have a tough schedule. And the AI kept spitting that out as the first sentence of every paragraph. The Miami Dolphins have a long road ahead. It's like when we did that test for the story of color commentary.
Yeah.
With the early years and all that. I love it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 8:00, right? It's my time to go. Final takes.
Yes.
We'll start off with color. Since you were late, you get to go first.
Oh, geez. What do I have for a final thought? Oh, you know it. There is no final thought because at the end of the day, it is what it is, which is really good.
Oh, yeah.
So have a wonderful day, everybody. Blue skies and sunshine, and don't go to whatever that source was to find out anything about the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Damn right.
All right. Shake Money. Final thought.
Hey, I appreciate you for allowing me to attempt to fill in for color. You guys have a great dynamic in the morning, so I figured that's why I kind of never hop on because I don't want it's so perfect that I don't want to kind of ruin it. You know, you guys have a great thing going. I enjoy you guys every morning, and tonight is the drive time open panel. Y'all be sure to stop through, and of course, I'm gonna be joining crypto on the Monday marathon, Labor Day special, I would say, and that's pretty much it. Fins up.
All right, yeah. I wanted to also thank you, Shake, for that fill in, man. You always come through when we need you to.
Yeah,
hey,
sure.
and one other thing, one more late night exhale before football, guys. Actually, 2 more technically, but one more before it's actually game day the next day.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Well, thanks everyone for coming out. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. We really appreciate you. We wouldn't be here without all of you. Look for Monday. We're going to be going strong as we lead into the first game of this season. Check out Late Night Exhale, which might be run by Color. I'm going to talk to Color about this after the show.
For this week, for this Saturday, right?
For this Saturday, yes.
Right,
Next
right.
Saturday,
And that is the last.
20%.
Yep, that's the last non-football week Late Night Exhale of the off season.
Yes.
Wow.
And then we're going to go into go into Late Night Exhale's season schedule, which the season schedule is if it's an away game, regular 10 p.m. time will start and we'll go out through the night. If it's a home game, we're gonna probably start at 9 and it'll only go for about 2 or 3 hours, unless Shake Money or Color or somebody wants to continue the show. That's up to them, right?
Yeah, we have much more help this season to keep that going when Ali goes to games, because he goes to games. So on home games, it's obviously got to get up pretty early and all that. But we've got a much larger team of guys to help these days, so chances are we'll be able to keep that going a little longer than Ali's got to go to bed. So
yeah,
look
definitely.
forward to that.
So anyway, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I appreciate all of you. And with that ado, I gotta say, fins up, everybody.
Yeah.